Alex po from Manila. So with the creation of the TWG, the support of the lawmakers in the topic, do you think na mag-rule yung SC in favor of Angkas?
Wala yan. We're hopeful that the Supreme Court will find merit in our case. I'm not sure I get the question right. I don't know if the TWG will influence the decision directly, or somehow. But I think where we should look at is really the plight of the Filipino people, and I think that's where we should have the conversation, and that's where the merits should be. So the TWG is another route we can take, and we will exhaust all avenues. Lahat po kakausapin namin, wala po kung hindi kakausapin. Para lang po maitaguyod natin itong kabuhayan ng ating mga bikers that we believe is not wrong, it's not illegal, and it is with dignity and pride that they should provide for their families and given the chance to provide for their families, especially this Christmas time.
Papasok ko sa'yo, Angie. Promise. Sige po. Can you speak a bit louder lang?
Good afternoon, sir. I wanted to ask if you have any data on the actual demand ng Angkas. How many bookings do you have per day? Ilan yung nasa-serve? Ano po ba yung data that you can give us?
Ang dami.
Okay, can you give some?
Siguro relevant lang muna.
No, I think we have 25,000 biker partners, and I think that says it all. No, I mean, even now, kulang na kulang pa yung biker partners. The demand is really big. I can't really say. I mean, I don't know for certain exactly what the amount is, but we have thousands of rides on a daily basis.
Ano po yung acceptance rate natin with the 25,000 drivers?
What do you mean
Yung mga
acceptance rate?
nagka-cancel ba?
No, well, we have very high acceptance rate no? In terms of capturing the demand. No? I don't think that there are some days that we're not even hitting half of it. No? So ganun kalaki yung demand.
Average bookings po sana.
Sorry, I don't know, but I'll give you another number. No? Based on our research, our internal research, the MRT, based on the data coming from UTR, the MRT ferries about 300,000 a day in commuters. So based on our internal research, the existing habal-habal terminals and Angkas combination of umaabot po yan ng mga roughly around 100,000 a day. So that's about 1/3 of what the MRT does, and this is zero cost to government. So yun po yung numero na I think mas importante in terms of showing the demand talaga of motorcycle taxis in the metro.
Sa 100,000, sir, ilan yung naka-corner na class?
Very small, very small. We're still far from being able to service the demand for Metro Manila, and we hope nga that we'll be given that opportunity to really serve this demand, because this is really something that's needed by a lot of our common folk.
Last one, sir, how much has the demand grown since the Mandaluyong Port issue, the Red Junction in your favor?
I guess ito na lang, no? Before that, we had 16,000 drivers. After that, over the span of 3 months, we went up to 25,000 drivers. So you can see talaga, medyo malakas talaga po ang demand.
Isang upuan din. Kuha ko rin. Okay, Angie muna.
Sir Angie, ano po yung current standing niyo sa LTFRB? So ano po yung next step? Just in case.
I mean, we're still in open dialogue. I mean, we've reached out to LTFRB and we're in talks with the regulators. Right now, I think the TWG group, I don't know who composes of the TWG group, but we hope that we're a part of it so that we can share our experience in the matter, especially in terms of regulations on motorcycle taxis.
Darlene po from GMA. Ayun, habang wala po tayong resolution, ano po yung status ng operation?
Right now, we're complying with the TRO. The app is still on. We have the Patella service. But yun nga, that pales in comparison to the actual demand. No? Angkas was created to service a need, and the need is to transport people. Deliveries is a convenience, transporting people is the necessity. And we hope to be able to fulfill what we actually created Angkas for, hopefully sooner than later.
Last na lang. You mentioned po before na magbibigay kayo ng assistance doon sa mga riders. Yung anong klaseng assistance na lang? Yan, para din doon sa mga na-apprehend na sa 40 plus na. Anong klaseng assistance bibigay?
Lahat po ng assistance na ina-afford po sa atin ng batas, no? We help them out. So we're a community in Angkas, no? We're really a family. And lahat po ng drivers go to us for pretty much everything. I mean, tatay na tatay to si David, si Manong David ng mga drivers. So anything within the law, we facilitate, we help them. There's a lot of things that we do. So it's kung ano man yung mabibigay namin sa driver, binibigay namin.
Hello, my name is Ray. If you can give us, kung meron kayong ipapresent a win-win solution for this, what resolution would you suggest for this situation?
I think the win-win scenario here is for us to be able to provide mobility options to the rest of the Filipinos and not just to one sector. Affordable and efficient and safe transportation. No? So if we're able to provide this regulatory framework, then the government would allow us to run under this type of regulatory framework. And I think we've proven, over the last 3 months that our safety record is quite impeccable. And this is done because we have very, very high regulatory standards. So we really focus on the commitment to safety. We focus on the commitment to making sure that our drivers are trained. Everyone has a professional driver's license. Everyone has NBI police clearance. Everyone knows how to deal with customers. So there's a lot of work and thought that goes into it. And I hope that if and when this becomes something that we can do for everybody, that other companies will follow the same standard. We're very, very confident, and we feel strongly about what we've created. And I think this is the best standard in the world in terms of how to safely regulate motorcycle taxis.
Naisabit na po ba ito? I mean, yung mga sinabi nyo ngayon, alam po ba ng government ito lahat?
Matagal na po. Nagkaroon po ng Committee on Metro Manila Development hearings. Sinabit na po namin yung aming buong set up sa kanila. There was already a report from the Committee on Metro Manila Development. We've submitted several documents to the Committee on Transportation as well. Lahat po ng committee na accept po ng sitwasyon namin, pati ng aming mga set-up po, sistema namin, sinabit na po namin lawmakers, Senado. The government definitely knows about this, yes? LGUs know about this also. So marami na po may alam nito, this formula that we're trying to do po, and hopefully we can get resolution nga in developing this framework.
What do you think is the reason why is it they're not accepting this?
I mean, you should need to ask them, but if I was to venture a guess, change is hard. Change is very difficult. A lot of people talk about disruptive technology. Ngayon, lahat na may mga ilaw tayo dito, pero there was a time 100 years ago na pinagpabawal yung electricity sa bayan, di ba? So, John D. Rockefeller was, may pinatay pa nga silang elepante para makita yung dangers ng bagong teknolohiya ng elektrisidad. So, even that, as simple, as obvious as what we think now and we enjoy now as something that's normal, back then resisted change. So I think change is hard, change is very difficult, change is something that a lot of people can't accept at face value, and with good reason. It's not always just because they don't want to. We also need to make sure that the change is going to be good for everybody. And sana po, ito rin po kasi yung mantra ng ating gobyerno, diba? Change. Look po yung gobyerno natin under the promise of change, and hopefully we can continue to that promise.
Oo. Paayos lang yung audio natin.
Battery.
Okay, better ba? Pakicheck.
Hello, my
Yan.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Question pa?
Good afternoon. Gilbert Shao, MotoPH.com and Lifestyle Magazines.
curious lang ako, will you continue the operations of Angkas Buhay during the TRO period? Since Angkas Buhay is a voluntary public service.
Ay, tuloy-tuloy pa po yun, no? Right now, we're still calling on volunteers that we can train as ENTs. We're still working with several institutions to firm up the setup, no, for Angkas Buhay. And we're still hopeful that we'll make our target deadline for launching the Angkas Buhay system, which is hopefully by first half of next year. So tuloy pa po yun. Sana po rin, this is additional proof of our commitment po to safety and also our commitment to the Filipino riding community.
And one question apart of my since
Taksa mo na lang yung boses ko,
this is a temporary thing, ano? To be an Angkas rider, meron bang parang bracket or acceptable displacement of motorcycle yung allowed? For example, from 1 to 2 or any displacement?
Yeah, right now we are using 100 to 200 cc motorcycles.
100 to 200.
Yes. So, and mostly kasi sa amin is really short distances. So, average ride namin is mga 5 to 7 kilometers. So, small bikes will really work in our service.
Thank you.
May speed limit po kami. So, hindi po useless po pag lakit mataas tayo ng displacement kasi hindi naman po magagamit yung speed.
What I'm getting at kasi, being a rider myself, no, maraming riders, they have their own dream bikes na hindi afford. Now, ang nakikita ko, through yung additional livelihood na Angkas, a lot of riders would be able to afford their dream bikes using their income from Angkas. Kasi ganun din ang nangyari with yung kotse na equivalent Uber and so a lot of people can't afford cars pero nakabili sila dahil ganun.
And even before, based on our actual numbers, 30% of our bikers were unemployed before. Itong mga to tambay talaga, but they have the skills to ride a motorcycle. So they were qualified at nakabasa sila. So ngayon meron silang trabaho to be proud of, and every year nakakapagpalit sila ng bagong motorsiklo because of the income that they can generate. Pero right now, we are allowing up to 7 years old bike. So may age bracket din kami kasi based on our experience, that's the max na medyo healthy pa yung motorcycle for this kind of service.
Well, if kung ma-lift yung TR, it will help not only the motorcycle industry but the economy in general.
Definitely serious.
Thank you.
Okay. By the way, we would like to welcome also Attorney Ariel Inton here, President of Lawyer for Commuter Safety and Protection, has always been a constant supporter of Angkas. Sir, baka you would want to share some thoughts with them also?
Yes.